Ati wengine wanasema Rembo Tiang. Ati hii ng'ombe tumepeana tutarudisha. Wewe. Sisi ni wafugaji.
Ladies and gentlemen, people asking me what could be the reasons as to why there are problems within the broad-based government. We have to agree that right now, because of what we have seen, and actually I've made some videos here on the same, that the UDA people are uncomfortable with something, and the ODM guys are also uncomfortable with some things. And there have been people speaking, political leaders speaking from the two factions. And now it is very clear that if these things will not be resolved, they will eventually lead out to a breakup. But if they will be resolved, then we'll be able to see some serious changes within the broad-based government. Then now, what are the reasons for these jitters, for this murmuring, for this Cold War? That is going to form the basis of this analysis here today. But before I take you through, please, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My name is Abel Mukwa, and thank you so much for always watching. Let me give you 2 seconds to subscribe before we proceed. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm really humbled for that. Now, let me dive into the topic today. Number 1 in my list, it is the fact that there is a problem when it comes to the ground.
Mimi nataka niseme hivi, ukweli Raila ametupatia mzigo. Kubeba William Samuel Ruto ni kama kulisha mtoto wa mama yake amekuja na yeye. Unalisha, akishamaliza secondary, baba yake anasema ati my sweetheart nataka mtoto wangu. Na mtoto anaenda kwa baba yake. Na umetumia kila kitu yako. Umeuza shamba yako kusomesha mtoto. Raila Amolo Odinga, huyu mtoto ulituletea hapa Kenya, huyu mtoto ametuchokeza. Sisi William Samuel Ruto tumechoka na yeye. Ingekuwa kuna pale tunaweza peleka William Samuel Ruto, tungekuwa tumebeba tumampeleke. Hai William Samuel Ruto ile kidogo nyuko nayo anachukua. Na mimi nataka niwaambie leo, watu wote wana support William Samuel Ruto wote wako na shida.
The ground has completely rejected Raila Amolo Odinga. And why is this happening? When William Ruto took power, he made so many promises to Kenyans. He called people hustlers, others dynasties. But upon taking power, he changed and became a different person completely. Now, the little amount of money that people had in their pockets, William Ruto was taking away and telling Kenyans to tighten their belts. Eventually, we had the demonstrations of youths in this country because of the bad governance that we're experiencing. Since that time, the mood has not changed. In fact, to some extent, it's getting worse. It's only that people are not getting to the streets because of the hard times that Kenyans are experiencing, a failing health system, failing education system, high cost of living, and of course, the flamboyant lifestyle that we are seeing with most of these politicians. So Kenyans are completely uncomfortable with how William Ruto is ruling. Apart from that, there's a lot of arrogance that we are seeing from the leaders associated with President William Ruto. If you hear Soros speak, you'll think like this person is living in another country. If you hear people like Imani Ichung'wah speak, you'll feel like Kenyans are always wrong and that William Ruto is the best person that we've ever had in this country. So in a nutshell, that kind of ignorance, it makes Kenyans to get more agitated with this government, hence the ground rejection. Now, if you've heard from that clip, a youth from Luo Nyanza completely rejecting President William Ruto, that means that the ground does not accept him. And to make matters more worse, the killings that we're experiencing in the streets. As we speak today, in Barakoi, we saw youths being shot. They died, 5 of them, by the police officers, not gangs. And those are Kenyans. When these things happen, Kenyans continue developing more anger against President William Ruto. People say even if you give us roads, give us houses, give us water, give us food, if you are dead, who are you going to bring these things for? That is one of the reasons as to why the ground has completely rejected President William Ruto. Now, when the ground has rejected William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga finds it uncomfortable to appear in the public to speak on the issues to do with William Ruto, to appear in public to support William Ruto even in 2027. So as a result, you note that they have to do something within William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga's arrangement so that they can be able to fit the interests of the ground. And if William Ruto rejects, you'll find that now the ODM people will start talking and behave separately from what they had agreed in the broad-based arrangement. Number 2 reason that I feel strongly that these people are having issues is the fact that William Ruto has not stopped being greedy. He really wants to have every project on his side. As we speak today, the housing project benefits him almost 100%. As we speak today, you realize that William Ruto's friend, Devki, supplies metals, according to Rigathi Gachagua, he supplies cement, he supplies iron sheets, and even fertilizer he takes charge. So you realize that when these things are happening, they directly benefit William Ruto through the profits that are gained. And imagine These houses are built on public land. Then Kenyans paid taxes for these houses to be constructed. Eventually, Kenyans go and buy these houses again, meaning that there's someone benefiting and benefiting immensely. Therefore, that's the reason as to why we are saying that Kenyans are watching William Ruto benefiting as Kenyans cry. It's also clear that in William Ruto's regime, choppers are all over, flying right, left, and center. And then from there, you can note that people, the politicians around President William Ruto are rich, having money in all corners. So this leads to what we call anger within Kenyans, because they are seeing politicians constantly stealing, becoming rich, while on their side they are taking their taxes huge and huge every day. We also heard recently that members of parliament are going to be added some allowances, traveling allowances. For heaven's sake, people should be in parliament to oversight and create some legislations. They are now in need of more money to go to the ground, still exploiting Kenyans. So some of these things, they're showing that William Ruto's government is all about commercialization. William Ruto's government is all about making themselves rich and his politicians. The third thing that I want to talk about here is the autonomy of the CSS. When Raila Amolo Odinga gave William Ruto experts, there's this notion that they are going to bring change in government. Mbadi says at some point that if he's not given time to work in the broad-based government, then there's no need of being there. He has to be given the autonomy to do whatever he thinks that is right in this country. But in William Ruto's government, every good minister like Moses Kuria has come out of that place. Moses Kuria, apart from his arrogance, is knowledgeable. So when he came out of that place, he said, you can have a good idea as good as you want it to be. But the moment you share it, who do you share it to? The people above you. You are told for that one now, no, put it aside. Showing that William Ruto has some priorities where he benefits. Even if you have a good idea, so long as he does not have an arrangement to benefit, there's no way you can do it. So as a result, you realize that William Ruto's men say no to it. So you realize that no matter how good you are as a CS, there's nothing you can do. Apart from that, we've also had Justin J.B. Muturi. He came out and said that in the cabinet, people even don't ask questions. William Ruto talks while looking at you, which means that he's making what you call an order, a command. This must happen this way. Everything is planned for you in your docket. You just go sit in the cabinet, get instructions, and then go. Get instructions and then go. When there's a scandal, you are blamed. You are called to answer. But the fact is, the people who do things are in status. So this kind of restriction of the member of the cabinet secretaries, you realize that those ones of the ODM party who are taken there to perform, people like Oparanya is nowhere to be seen. People like Lee Kinyanjui is going to be known to be a good governor, is nowhere to be seen. Mbadi is struggling as we speak. Hassan Joho was not so good, but also I think he has toned down a bit. So as a result, you notice that these people are uncomfortable because they cannot properly serve in Ruto's government. They are being controlled right, left, and center. So they say no. We'd rather quit and probably cause chaos for us to get the powers that we need to perform for the people of Kenya. That is one of the reasons I feel strongly that there are problems as we speak today in the broad-based government. Now, also, William Ruto has not changed his character, more especially on early campaigns. Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta complained of early campaigns, even though at some point he was talking of someone has campaigned for 4 years. Now, there will be William Ruto. It is discouraging that a leader you are telling, let us stop wastage of public funds, because probably Raila Amolo Odinga, if he's not selfish, you could have shared this with him and tell him, Kenyans are complaining of wastage of public funds, unnecessary travels, early campaigns. Stop this. But William Ruto consistently is traveling all over the country in the name of taking developments, yet just going to do campaigns. There's a point left for 6 days in Western Kenya to go and launch a simple transformer using millions of money for a trip of 6 days just to launch a transformer. If you could have sent even half of the money to that place, projects could have been done there. Huge projects. So in a nutshell, people are just tired with the way William Ruto is operating in his government. Now, other thing I want to say is disagreement about the parliamentary leadership. It is true that there's still some murmuring that the Speaker of the National Assembly should be from the Azimio side, which ODM wants to take. Also, there's murmuring that the majority leader of parliament should come from the ODM side. But if we check critically, Kimani Ichung'wah does not want to let it go. They are buying time and that they are moving the wheel still. So the fact remains that if they were all clear that they want to sort out things, they could be free to hand over the majority side to, of course, ODM party and the Azimio people. But because they are uncomfortable with this team, they don't trust them. As a result, they hold to the majority. Which means very well, William Ruto has created some environment where the ODM people cannot trust them because they're not ready to do some things wholeheartedly. As a result, these jitters that we are seeing around. I don't know you guys what you think, but that's my opinion of the reasons as to why we could be having these demonstrations that are happening. I mean, this murmuring, these kind of problems that we are seeing from the two factions in the broad-based government. Let me see in the comment section what you think, and let's meet in the next video that's going to be on who is going to be the winner in 2027. That's just an analysis according to the request that was made here on the channel by one of my viewers. Thank you so much. See you next time.